Police make an arrest in the murder of a 13-year-old boy. The teen was shot at a Hilltop apartment complex this week. SWAT officers spent yesterday searching for 36-year-old Krieg Butler. This morning, he faced a judge. Mike McCarthy is here to explain the new twist to the case that was revealed this morning in court.
New here at court, prosecutors revealed the man charged with murdering a 13-year-old boy told police he fired shots, but it was in self-defense. Krieg Butler didn't make any comments during his court appearance. Police say a witness saw him exit a truck, fire shots at the teen boy named Sinzae Reed, and then drive off. The shooting happened 2 days ago at the Wedgwood Village Apartments in the Hilltop. Records show Butler lived at the complex. Police haven't said whether he and the teen knew each other, nor have they confirmed what led to the gunfire. And it's not clear where officers arrested Butler. A woman who said she's Butler's sister-in-law told us he drove to see her after the shooting.
When he came to us, he had over bullet holes in his truck. So it's both ways. We don't know who's in fault, but it's both ways.
What did he tell you about what happened? Did he tell you what occurred at the apartment complex?
He said he was trying to avoid an incident. He didn't go out the full driveway. He went the other way, and he got ambushed.
Police have made no mention of an ambush nor any other shooters. Butler's sister-in-law repeatedly said he would never knowingly shoot a kid. Right now, Butler remains in the Franklin County Jail. The judge set his bond at $1 million. On your side downtown, Mike McCarthy, ABC 6 News.
So y'all just heard that audio right there, that news clip right there. Now, excuse me. Before I actually get into the story, let me offer my condolences to the family of this little boy whose name they said is Sinzae Reed. What's crazy about this story I'm telling you all about right now is if I did not tell you that this happened back in October, you would swear it probably just happened this week around the time of me uploading and recording this video. This happened back in October the 12th to be exact. And the story itself really did not just gain traction like that until someone posted up about it on their Twitter account, and it went viral on the last week of December. I kid you not. I did not know this story existed. Otherwise, I would have been talked about it. I got to ask any of my Ohio subscribers, were you aware of this story back when it first happened? Because this story did not get any media attention whatsoever. None. I did not hear about this. If I heard about this, I definitely would have talked about it. Now, one of the things that stuck out to me with this story was when they said that this guy, Krieg Butler, shot Sinzae Reed, excuse me, that after he did it, he got in his truck and drove away to go see his sister-in-law. That reminds me so much of Michael Dunn when he killed Jordan Davis. Because, when he shot into Jordan Davis in the vehicle that he and his friends were in, and after shooting into that vehicle and killing Jordan Davis, he got in his vehicle and went and got a pizza and drove away and went home after doing what he did. See, when they do stuff like this, when it comes to black children, they do not care what it is. They will do the deed and drive away like it's nothing. Now, y'all heard also in that audio clip, his hick-ass sister-in-law got on cold real quick. She said, well, there were bullet holes in his truck, so this goes both ways. And he was ambushed. Yes, they are actually trying to go with the notion that Krieg Butler was jumped. And he did this in self-defense. But something, it tells a different story. Because they said when the investigators looked at it, they said there was no signs that there was an altercation between him and a bunch of other children. So where did these bullet holes come from? I don't know. But the way that they tried to frame it, at least how that sister-in-law tried to frame it, they tried to make it seem like he was the one that was completely and utterly responsible for what happened. And when I say he, I'm talking about Sinzae Reed. But that's what was reported on October the 12th. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what got reported about 2 weeks later on the 27th of October. Yes, you are reading this correctly. October 27, 2022. Family asks why charges dropped against the Columbus man accused of killing a 13-year-old. The family of Sinzae Reed, a 13-year-old who was fatally shot on October 12th at the Wedgwood Apartments in Columbus Hilltop neighborhood, want to know why the alleged shooter, a neighbor who legally should not have been able to have a gun, is walking free. A grown man killed a child and nobody cares, Sinzae's sister, 20-year-old Michaela Nichols, told the Dispatch on Thursday. We want to know why he's free. The Franklin County Prosecutor's Office previously filed a murder charge against Krieg Butler Sr., age 36, and that's a struggling, haggard 36, in Franklin County Municipal Court in connection with Sinzae's death on the same day as the shooting. But a week later, prosecutors filed to dismiss the case in municipal court on October 19th. Franklin County Municipal Court Judge Mike McAllister accepted the motion and dismissed the case, meaning the $1 million bond Butler had been held on no longer applied and Butler was released from jail. Again, these judges are the catalyst for why these terrorists continue to walk free. Remember, I spoke about this with Anderson Aldrich about how he shouldn't have released from jail, but the judge released him, and then look at what he ended up doing. But this guy killed a boy. I believe he got shot like 4 times, murdered him, drove off like it was nothing, got arrested, held for like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's just released and all the charges was dropped. Columbus Police Homicide Detective Keith O'Connor said Thursday that there has been a claim of self-defense by Butler and his mother, but declined to comment further, citing an ongoing police investigation. So he's just claiming self-defense just to claim it, and they're not investigating further to see if they can confirm that it's self-defense. They're just going to take his word on it that he was defending himself. That's how far we have fallen. Black people. What is it Rob says over at Black Light Revelations? The world is correct. I know people don't like to hear it, but it is what it is. Sinzae is not a bad kid at all, Nichols said. How was a grown man scared of him? He did not deserve to die. Nichols, responding to Butler and his mother's claim on social media of self-defense, says she does not believe Sinzae could have had a weapon. Butler was previously convicted in Franklin County for misdemeanor domestic violence, according to court records, which under federal law would prohibit him from having a gun. So he wasn't even supposed to have the gun based on that. Did they not take that into consideration? Clearly not. Nichols and a handful of other people demonstrated Thursday afternoon on the steps outside of Franklin County Municipal Court, seeking justice for Sinzae and the prosecution of Butler. My little brother was 13 and they let his killer out 5 days later. Nichols shouted through her tears, a baby is gone. Megan Reed, Sinzae's mother, held pictures of her son outside the courthouse. She declined again Thursday to speak with the Dispatch. DeJuan Sharp, a local activist and organizer, yelled through a megaphone decrying local authorities handling the case involving a white male defendant and a black child victim. Sharp also said Butler should at least be charged with illegally possessing a gun and held in jail. Now that I do agree with, because they said legally he wasn't supposed to have that gun and he had it. But they just literally completely bypassed all of that and just drop all the charges and release this man. As far as I know, because this is the latest update or the last update with this story, he's still a free man. And he was a neighbor of this boy, which means unless the family moved, he's still there, or he moved, he's still there. Prosecutors could still bring the shooting case before a grand jury for indictment in Franklin County Common Pleas Court, which handles felony cases like murder. A media release from Franklin County Prosecuting Attorney Gary Tyek's office Thursday afternoon said it is a standard practice for almost every felony case filed in municipal court to be dismissed. Not every case initiated in municipal court is presented to the grand jury, the release said. This particular case is still under review for possible presentation to the grand jury, and unfortunately I cannot advise you when the case will be presented to the grand jury. Franklin County First Assistant Prosecutor Janet Grubb, who leads the criminal division, said the office would not comment further on a matter that is under review. Nichols said the prosecutor's office has not communicated with their family and did not warn them Butler, who lives nearby, would be let out of jail. So the family was completely blindsided by the prosecutor. They did not know that this man was going to be released from jail. They probably thinking, oh, he's still in jail right now for killing our loved one. Then they pull that Uno reverse card and he's home. So that means they could have just saw him walking down the street and wondering why the hell he was, why he was out. And that was very sloppy on the prosecutor part, because they should have notified the family, seeing as how they're so closely related to the case, since that their loved one was the one that was murdered. Columbus police were called around 5:45 p.m. on October 12th to the Wedgwood Apartments on the 800 block of Wedgwood Drive in the Hilltop. Butler is a resident of the apartment. According to court records filed by a police officer, an eyewitness who knows Butler saw him exit a red truck and fire multiple times at Sinzae, striking him several times. Butler then got into his vehicle and fled the scene, according to court records. Police arrested Butler a day later. Officers found Sinzae suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Paramedics rushed Sinzae to Ohio Health Doctor Hospital, where he died at 6:26 p.m. According to Nichols, Sinzae was shot 4 or 5 times, including in his right hand and back. An autopsy report from the Franklin County's coroner's office is not yet completed. I wonder if it's completed by now, considering this story was posted on October 27th, 2022, which is about roughly a little over 2 months from the day that I'm recording this video, which is December 29th, 2022. What you see on your screen is a bunch of bullshit. But I'm not shocked and unfortunately not surprised that this is the outcome that they have right now. This is a story now that I feel like I'm gonna have to attach or hitch my wagon to see what the outcome or the true outcome of this is. But right now, them they dropped every charge. They dropped every charge, and all he had to do, all this Krieg Butler Sr. had to do, was claim that he was defending himself. Because based on how I'm reading it, that seems to be the only thing he had to do, was say, oh, I was just defending myself from these little tyrants. But there's no proof that he was defending himself against anybody. Even the witness said that he just saw him shooting his gun at this kid and got in his car and drove off. There was nothing that the witness said saying that, oh, these kids were out here trying to jump him. So only people that's standing up for this whole self-defense thing are him, his hick-ass sister-in-law, and his raggedy-ass womb-carrying mama. That's it. Ironically, the two people that were not there are the ones holding water for this dude. That's what getting on code looks like to the black people who don't understand what code looks like or sounds like. It's an unfortunate one, but it's a code nonetheless. That is absolutely insane. Now, I don't know whether or not this family is going to get justice for their child or whatever. But like I said, the most egregious thing about this story is the fact that it did not get any traction like that. This story stayed real low key. It did not make national news. Otherwise, we would have definitely heard about it for sure. But see, I think the establishment is scared of what happened with George Floyd back in 2020 happening again. And let's just hypothetically say this story gained traction. Oh, I have a feeling that this story would have definitely had people out in droves, for sure, looking for this Krieg Butler Sr. He wouldn't have been able to go home or wherever it is that he's going or went when he got out, when he got released. But that's that Operation Protect the White Boy in full effect again. I keep telling y'all going to latch on to that hashtag eventually if you haven't latched on already, because it's like it's all the signs are there. It goes into effect as many times as it wants to, and it definitely went into effect with this story right here. In case y'all were unaware, This is Mike McAllister, Judge Mike McAllister. He is one of the judges that is responsible for allowing that monster to be released from jail after just claiming self-defense for murdering Sinzae Reed. As you can see, not every judge out here is like Judge Olu Stevens as far as being on code.